pressed forehead against the cool glass of the train window as the Gare Saint-Lazare platform approached. The bustling city of Paris stretching out before her. Autumn sunlight reflected off the rooftops, casting a warm glow over les iconiques slate roofs et chimneys, et un soft brise carriait l'aroma des fraîches croissants et de roastés de coffee beans. Her fin tremblait slightly as elle pliait aux portes de sa voiture, les vitres et casquets du trajet. Yet somehow, Paris made it as glamour. Her outfit était parfaitement coordonné. A powder blue trench coat, silk d'affaires adorné avec doré cygne, and beige ankle boots polished to a subtle sheen. She glanced around nervously as bicycles zipped past pedestrians on the cobblestone streets outside. "This is it," she whispered, exhaling with a mix of anxiety and thrill. "I am really here. Paris, let's see what you've got." She was overwhelmed by the symphony of sounds and sights, street performers strumming accordions, the chime of tram bells, snippets of French conversations floating from cafes. A vendor called out, "Mademoiselle, fraîche baguettes, just à tout the oven." Emilia laughed nervously, picking up a warm baguette, biting into it with delight. Oh, this city, chaotic, beautiful, intoxicating. Her taxi ride to Lumiere Agency was a lesson in Parisian traffic mastery. The driver swerved expertly between scooters and pedestrians, honking occasionally, a cigarette dangling from his lips, yet somehow arriving safely. Emilia clutched her purse, laughing at her own nervousness. "Just another day in Paris," she muttered. The agency itself was an architectural gem. Modern glass walls reflecting the surrounding streets, marble floors catching the sunlight, and minimalistic, chic furniture giving the space an airy feel. Inside, colleagues moved gracefully through the office, a mix of soft French phrases, laptops clicking, espresso cups steaming. Emilia's bright trench coat made her impossible to miss. And then she saw him, Gabriel. He leaned casually against a pristine white desk. A tailored navy blazer over a crisp shirt, dark hair slightly tousled, and the most subtle, magnetic smile she had ever seen. Emilia, right? His voice carried a soft French accent, smooth and melodic. "Bienvenue à Paris." "Merci. Yes, I mean, thank you," Emilia stammered, nearly dropping her croissant. Her cheeks flushed as Gabriel's eyes crinkled in amusement. He guided her through introductions, explaining office routines with patience. Emilia tried to memorize names and faces, but her mind buzzed with sensory overload. The aroma of coffee, the warmth of the sunlight, the laughter echoing off the marble walls, and Gabriel's presence, somehow grounding yet electrifying. By midday, Emilia found herself in a nearby cafe, the perfect snapshot of Parisian charm. Tiny tables dotted the cobblestone sidewalk. The faint hum of conversation blending with the occasional clink of espresso cups. She ordered a café au lait and a pain au chocolat, settling at a table by the window, letting the city wash over her. A baker smiled knowingly. "First day?" Emilia nodded. Yes, first day," she said, savoring a bite of her pastry. The buttery layers melted in her mouth, and for a brief moment, she allowed herself to relax. Paris was dizzying, unpredictable, but undeniably magical. Back at the agency, her first task awaited, an initial brainstorming session for a luxury fashion client. Emilia's mind raced with ideas, blending Instagram storytelling, live video snippets of Parisian streets, and AR features allowing users to try on seasonal outfits. Camille, poised and impeccably elegant, raised an arched brow. Interesting, but perhaps subtler? Her voice, smooth as silk, carried the faintest edge. Emilia blinked. Subtle? That's code for boring, right? She forced a polite smile. Of course, I'll refine it, she said, feeling the sting, but determined not to show it. Gabriel leaned slightly toward her, whispering with a conspiratorial smile, Your ideas are bold. Paris needs bold sometimes. Emilia felt a flicker of hope. Maybe she wasn't entirely out of her depth here. The following morning, Emilia arrived early at Lumière Agency, determined to strike a balance between creativity and subtlety. Her trench coat was perfectly aligned, scarf elegantly draped, hair falling in effortless waves. She had spent the night revising her pitch, making it more Parisian-friendly while keeping her bold ideas intact. Camille appeared first in the office kitchen, effortlessly holding a coffee cup while adjusting her blazer. Emilia, she said softly, a hint of calculation in her eyes. Parisienne audience répond nuance. Elegance avant audace. Always. Emilia wanted to argue, to push her vision, but instead nodded. Camille's calm authority was hard to resist, and there was an elegance in her subtle dominance that made Emilia simultaneously respect and bristle. She made a silent promise. She would prove herself without losing her spark. Later in the morning meeting, Camille présentait her raffiné carefullement concept. The client notait approuvé, les Emilia bold proposées feeling slightly overshadowed. Undeterred, Emilia delivered her idea. Interactive street installations, AR-enhanced fashion filters, and a series of intimate influencer collaborations highlighting hidden Parisian streets and small boutiques. A moment of panic struck when she stumbled over a French phrase. Nous pourrions inciter les utilisateurs. Gabriel, réassurant glance, steadied her. Focus, Emilia. You've got this. The client listened intently, curiosity and hesitation mingling in their expressions. By the end, they requested a more detailed proposal, a small victory. Camille's subtle nod of acknowledgement hinted at approval. Gabriel Green sent warmth through Emilia's chest. The city outside beckoned, and Emilia wandered into Le Marais, scarf trailing in the soft breeze, streets lined with jewel-toned boutiques and cozy cafes. She paused at a small shop, picking up a scarf in rich autumn colors. It was spontaneous, indulgent, and wholly her, a reminder that Paris could be conquered one small triumph at a time. Evening came, and Emilia found herself at a quiet riverside bench by the Seine, watching the city glow under golden lamplight. Gabriel had sent a message earlier. Coffee tomorrow? I know a hidden cafe you'll adore, very Parisian. Her heart leapt. Professional challenges, citywide exploration, and now a romantic spark. Paris had already begun to weave its magic around her life. The following week, Emilia was entrusted with her first solo project, a digital campaign for a boutique Parisian fashion brand. The assignment felt simultaneously thrilling and terrifying. Her trench coat was cinched at the waist, scarf tied with practiced elegance, and her heels clicked confidently on the cobblestones as she approached Lumière Agency. Her sketchbook was tucked neatly under her arm, bursting with ideas. intimate street installations, AR fashion overlays, and social media storytelling that could transform the boutique into a must-see cultural moment. Gabrielle arrived just as she settled at her desk, carrying 2 steaming cafés au lait. "For the brilliant mind who never stops," he teased, offering 1 cup. Emilia blushed, grateful for the gesture. "Merci. I'll need all the brilliance I can get today," she replied, sipping cautiously. The warm coffee seemed to steady her nerves. Her presentation to the client was tense but exhilarating. Camille observed silently from the corner, her posture flawless, expression unreadable. Emilia took a deep breath. "Our campaign will integrate Parisian artistry into the shopping experience. Small, curated locations, AR overlays that allow visitors to visualize outfits in the boutiques themselves, and micro-influencers showcasing their personal experience of Parisian fashion. Not chaos, but intimacy," she explained. The client's eyes sparkled, leaning in. "And the artistic elements? Street painters, local musicians?" Emilia smiled, her confidence growing. "Exactly. Every detail is immersive, yet carefully designed. Elegance with playful surprise." By the end of the meeting, the client nodded enthusiastically. "This is exactly what we wanted, innovative and tasteful." Camille's subtle nod confirmed it, a silent, unspoken acknowledgement that Emilia had succeeded. Gabriel leaned closer, whispering, "See? Bold but elegant. You nailed it." Emilia's heart swelled with pride, a warm glow spreading through her chest. Later, wandering along the Seine, she allowed herself a small indulgence, a warm baguette, the golden evening light catching her scarf just so. The city shimmered with life, and she felt her first taste of true confidence in this overwhelming, beautiful metropolis. Her phone buzzed with a message from Gabriel. "I know a hidden cafe tomorrow. You'll love it. Very Parisian." Emilia's wits curved into a small smile. Professional victory, personal growth, and now a spark of romance. Paris had begun to wrap its magic around her in unexpected ways. The initial thrill of her first small victory soon gave way to the complexities of Parisian professional life. Emilia's next challenge was a campaign for a major luxury brand, one of the city's most discerning clients. Her original idea, a bold, interactive experience through iconic Parisian streets, was met with cautious curiosity by the client. Camille's calm, collected presence contrasted sharply with Emilia's enthusiastic approach, reminding her that subtlety often won over audacity. The week began with a flurry of emails, missed deadlines, and minor misunderstandings. Permissions for certain locations were delayed. Key influencers canceled at the last minute. Emilia juggled multiple tasks, often feeling pulled in different directions. The office atmosphere shifted slightly, with hushed conversations and polite glances hinting at skepticism about her methods. Gabrielle appeared at her desk mid-morning, leaning casually, but watching her with an intensity that made her heartbeat quicken. "Emilia, you have to remember, Paris has rhythm. Your ideas are brilliant, but execution is everything. Observe first, then act." Emilia nodded, biting back frustration. She understood his advice, but observe first seemed merely impossible with deadlines looming and her mind racing with creative possibilities. During a client meeting, Camille présentait sa férémise approche première, démontre 10 d'approbation. Emilia's idée a poursuivi, vibrant, et décidée par la bonté simplicité de Camille. Un nœud serré s'est formé dans cet espace. Le client hésitait et le doute dans leur ton accueillit beaucoup plus profondément. By midweek, Emilia found herself wandering the Rue Saint-Honoré, scarf trailing behind her, heart pounding. She tried to refocus, observing the subtle elegance of Parisian streets, shop windows reflecting the soft light, pedestrians moving with an effortless rhythm, cafes filled with laughter. I need to adapt without losing myself, she thought, inhaling the crisp autumn air. Romantic tension complicated matters further. Gabriel, gentle guidance and quiet admiration, conflicté avec Camille Coua's attention et professionnelle dominance. Emilia fit tourner entre désir, rivalité et sauvice. Chaque rencontre, casuelle ou professionnelle, semblait ladée de subtexte. A particularly challenging day ended with a minor disaster. An influencer miscommunication led to a small but public glitch in the campaign's teaser video. Emilia received a curt message from the client expressing concern. Her hands shook as she read it, scarf slipping from her shoulder. She could feel the weight of Paris pressing in. The city was beautiful, intoxicating, but it demanded precision and poise she wasn't sure she had mastered yet. Gabriel appeared à la pièce, comptant desserrer sur le laptop en despair. Brille Emilia, et il bouille sa main légèrement sur lui. Ce n'est pas une effete, une leçon. Tu as grandi. Paris t'apprendra la patience, mais tu ne prendras pas ton espoir. Tu me promets. Emilia looked at him, eyes glistening. Merci. I feel like I'm drowning in expectations. You're not alone. That's the point of this city. You grow alongside its rhythm. Trust yourself and don't lose your boldness. That evening, she found herself reflecting by the Seine, streetlights shimmering on the water. The city seemed both overwhelming and intimate, mirroring her inner conflict. Boldness tempered by self-doubt, ambition clashing with humility, desire mingling with caution. She realized that professional success would require balance, a blend of her creativity and Parisian subtlety. By midweek, Emilia felt the weight of Paris pressing down on her shoulders. The client's expectations were escalating. Her initial ideas had been refined and critiqued multiple times, and the ever-present Camille seemed to glide effortlessly through the office, effortlessly charming clients with subtle, flawless gestures. Emilia found herself questioning every decision, every move. Sitting by the window in her apartment overlooking the Ile de la Cité, Sar Imparni. She watched the Seine reflect the soft afternoon sun, golden and shimmering. The city was alive, and yet she felt disconnected, as if she were watching from the outside. The vibrant Paris she had once adored now seemed like an insurmountable puzzle. Her notebook lay open, filled with sketches, ideas, and notes, some brilliant, some chaotic. What had once felt inspired now appeared naive. Am I too brash? Too loud? Too foreign? She traced the edge of the page, contemplating. For the first time, she questioned her place in the city, in the agency, and even in her own ambitions. Gabriel's gentle guidance had been a comfort, but even he could not solve the gnawing doubt within her. She remembered his words. Paris will teach you patience, but it won't take your spark. Yet patience felt like surrender, and her spark flickered dangerously close to being extinguished. To escape her thoughts, she wandered to a quiet café in Le Marais, a place recommended by Mia. The walls were lined with local art, and soft jazz floated through the air. Emilia ordered a latte, watching pedestrians pass by in warm coats and scarves. Mia had texted earlier, "Remember, Emmy, boldness is your strength. Adapt, but don't erase yourself." Emilia pondered this advice. She realized she had been trying too hard to fit a mold. Camille's elegant efficiency, a client's expectations, Parisian subtlety, and in doing so, she risked losing the very qualities that made her unique. Her thoughts drifted to Gabriel, to the small moments of connection, his reassuring smile, the gentle touch on her hand, the way he looked at her with curiosity and admiration. She realized that personal growth and professional success weren't mutually exclusive. She had to merge her creativity with the lessons she had learned, without diluting herself. As dusk fell, she returned to her apartment. Paris bathed in amber streetlight. She looked out over the rooftops, scarf fluttering in the cool breeze, and took a deep breath. I can do this. I have to trust myself. The next morning, Emilia approached her desk with renewed determination. The campaign for the luxury brand demanded precision, creativity, and elegance, a perfect opportunity to prove herself. She revised her plan, integrating subtlety with boldness. Carefully curated Parisian locations, intimate AR experiences, and micro-influencer collaborations that showcased the city's charm without overwhelming the audience. Camille observed quietly, her expression unreadable, as Emilia presented her refined concept. Gabriel sat beside her, his soft encouragement grounding her. Your ideas now? Parfait, he whispered, his gaze warm. The client meeting was tense. Camille présentait fort. Son concept boulevard et safe que le bien des yeux. Emilia suivit. Sa présentation confidente et fluide. Elle parlait de précision, long tissant et contact propice de Montpasien, des musiciens de rue, peintres en direct et des moments de mode. Le client s'écartèrent, promettait vivant et élégant. Exactement ce que nous attendions. Camille Subtenode acknowledged Emilia's achievement. Gabriel leaned in, whispering, "See, bold yet refined. You found the balance." As the meeting concluded, Emilia felt a wave of relief and accomplishment. She had navigated cultural expectations, client skepticism, and her own self-doubt. But the most profound victory was personal. She had learned to blend her bold creativity with Parisian elegance, proving to herself that she belonged here. That evening, Gabriel invited her for a walk along the Seine, under the soft glow of streetlights. Paris shimmered around them, the reflections in the water dancing like tiny stars. They walked in silence at first, hands brushing, fingers intertwining tentatively. Finally, Gabriel spoke. "Emilia, you've grown so much. You've adapted without losing yourself. That's rare and beautiful." Emilia's heart swelled. "Merci, your guidance helped me find my rhythm." They paused on a small bridge, the city humming softly around them. Gabriel took her hand fully, fingers intertwining with hers. "Whatever comes next, I want to face it with you," he said, voice low and steady. Emilia felt warmth spread through her chest, a mixture of pride, relief, and burgeoning love. She realized that the city had tested her, shaped her, but had also offered the possibility of connection and romance. Paris wasn't just a backdrop, it was an active participant in her growth, reflecting her journey in its light, its rhythm, its charm. Back at the agency, Camille approached her privately. "You've exceeded expectations. Don't let anyone dull your spark," she said softly. Emilia réalisait qu'Camille's rivalité a toujours été un miroir, showing her the standards she needed to meet, the elegance to embrace. By the end of the week, Emilia had successfully launched the campaign with resounding success, earned Camille's respect, quiet yet sincere, deepened her connection with Gabriel, romantic tension now mutual and tender, discovered the delicate balance between boldness and subtlety. Paris had taught her many lessons: patience, humility, courage, and love, and Emilia felt ready for whatever came next. Morning sunlight spilled through the tall windows of Emilia's apartment, warm and soft, highlighting the pastel tones of her trench coat hanging neatly by the door and the gentle folds of her silk scarf. Outside, Paris awakened. Café chairs squeaked along cobblestones, bicycles whirred past, and the Seine shimmered under golden light. Emilia held her café au lait, savoring the moment, a rare pocket of serenity after weeks of whirlwind challenges. The luxury campaign had launched successfully. Social media buzzed with excitement. Influencers tagged immersive photos, AR filters went viral, and the boutique's foot traffic soared. Camille had sent a brief message: "Impressive work, elegant and effective." Emilia smiled, feeling the quiet pride of victory, both professional and personal. Her merde, however, lingerda on Gabriel. Their connection had grown with subtle intensity, each conversation layered with curiosity, each touch charged yet gentle. The previous evening, he had invited her to dinner at a hidden bistro near the Ile Saint-Louis, a place with intimate candlelight and soft accordion music that wrapped the small room in charm. Emilia had dressed with care. A blush pink dress, scarf tied loosely, hair in soft waves that framed her face. Paris seemed to conspire for romance, warm streetlights spilling through the windows, the aroma of fresh pastries, and the low murmur of couples around them. Gabriel arrived with a quiet smile, the subtle tilt of his head and worn gaze instantly easing her nerves. "Bonsoir, Emilia," he said, his hand brushing hers in greeting. She felt the familiar spark, that delicious combination of nervousness and anticipation. Dinner was a blend of playful banter and sincere confessions. Gabriel spoke of Parisian art, his creative struggles, and unshared dreams. Emilia shared her journey, early mistakes, lessons learned, and her growth in a city that had challenged her at every turn. Laughter mingled with moments of comfortable silence, a rhythm that felt entirely their own. As dessert arrived, a delicate tarte tatin, Emilia réalisait how much she had transformed. Paris had shaped her, tested her, and rewarded her. Professionnel triomphes, culturelles leçons et personnel growth at intertwiner, culminant en expériences singulières qui chimeraient au potentiel. After dinner, they wandered along the Seine, the city reflected in the water, lanterns flickering like tiny stars. Street musicians played soft tunes, couples strolled past, and the air was crisp yet inviting. Gabriel gently took her hand. Their fingers intertwined, tentative at first, then intentional, as if both had been waiting for this quiet acknowledgement. They paused on a small bridge, the Seine flowing beneath. Gabriel turned to her, voice soft but certain. Emilia, you found your rhythm here. You've adapted without losing yourself. That's rare and beautiful. Emilia's eyes glistened. Merci. I couldn't have done it without you. Your guidance, your patience, it made all the difference. He smiled, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. You've grown so much, and you've done it on your own terms. The moment lingered, charged yet gentle, a promise rather than a conclusion, a beginning rather than an ending. Emilia squeezed his hand, warmth spreading through her chest. She realized Paris had been more than a backdrop. It had been a catalyst for growth, for love, for discovery. Back at the agency, Camille approached Emilia privately. You've impressed everyone. Don't lose your spark, she said softly. Emilia realized that even rivalry had been a lesson, and that Camille's subtle guidance had shaped her journey in ways she now appreciated. As the evening deepened, Emilia wandered through Le Marais, her scarf trailing in the gentle breeze. Cafes glowed warmly, artists painted quietly on sidewalks, and the city pulsed with life. She felt the culmination of her journey, professional success, personal growth, and the tender blossoming of romance. Gabriel walked beside her, the warmth of his hand intertwined with hers, a comforting anchor. Are you ready for whatever comes next? He asked. Emilia's lips curved into a confident, serene smile. Yes, I think I am. The camera would pull back, capturing the glow of the Eiffel Tower in the distance, reflections on the Seine, and Paris alive with possibility. Emilia and Gabriel stood hand in hand, a tableau of growth, romance, and the promise of more adventures. Paris had tested her, enchanted her, and shaped her. Now, as the city hummed softly around her, Emilia felt a rare certainty. She was exactly where she was meant to be, bold yet refined, vibrant yet elegant, naive yet wise, and ready for all the magic the city, love, and life had to offer.